Medicines given marketing approval in the United States are considered the safest in the world. But for people with life-threatening illnesses who see their own mortality staring at them starkly at preternaturally young ages, like the patient James Petrarca portrayed in this book, a composite of the people I have cared for, the FDA can be maddeningly deliberate and slow to get medicines approved. When confronting a deadly scourge of unknown cause and undiscovered cure, be it AIDS or COVID-19, particularly with a cold and uncaring government in power, a community faced with just such a health crisis revolts, protesting loudly enough to be heard to provoke change. And once again, the FDA did change. It introduced accelerated approval, a formal process to get drugs to the patients who really need them sooner. A mechanism that, sure enough, gets new drugs to patients desperate to treat serious, life-threatening conditions fast. Well, fast by FDA standards. Many of these drugs have in fact revolutionized the treatment of conditions like cancer, making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people's lives better. Some have not been as transformative, though, and their rush to market may have violated the FDA's own DNA to ensure the safety of the public. Drugs and the FDA, safety, efficacy, and the public's trust tracks the FDA's progress, beginning with the agency's genesis more than 100 years ago. The story unfolds against the backdrop of the Avastin hearing, an unprecedented trial that took place in 2011 involving a wunderkind breast cancer drug that pit the drug's manufacturer, Genentech, against the FDA itself. Avastin was one of the dozens of drugs brought to market during the past 2 to 3 decades under the FDA's accelerated approval mechanism. At this trial, I and 5 other cancer specialists served as the jury. Charged with deciding the fate of this drug, taken by tens of thousands of women with breast cancer around the world, we would vote to recommend to either keep it on the market or remove it. At this trial, dozens of brave women with breast cancer played witness to Avastin's ability to keep them alive for years, hardy and hale enough to testify before us. Yet dozens of other women with breast cancer, also treated with Avastin, were no longer alive to testify. At this trial, we saw how studies of cancer drugs can be built to win, to gain regulatory approval without necessarily benefiting patients. We witnessed the tension in the FDA's mission to balance a drug's safety and efficacy with promoting innovation and rapidly meeting the needs of sick and dying patients. The Avastin hearing would put to the test not only the FDA's century-long evolution, but also the trust the public holds in this federal agency to safeguard our health in treating cancer, cardiovascular disease, AIDS, or COVID-19. And the FDA's decision about whether to maintain Avastin's breast cancer approval or revoke it would be the ultimate demonstration of how the agency's system of checks and balances really works, or in how it doesn't. MAS. 1. This little drug came to market. I have known hours when death for me would be a welcome relief. A.S. Calhoun, M.D., Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1937. The 130-acre White Oak campus of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration is located 1 mile north of the Capitol Beltway in Montgomery County, Maryland, making it convenient to get to by car. Its fragmented buildings house the Office of the Commissioner, the Office of Regulatory Affairs, the Center for Drug Evaluation and Research, the Center for Devices and Radiological Health, the Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research, and offices for the Center for Veterinary Medicine. The site, acquired by the U.S. Department of the Navy in 1944, originally housed the Dahlgren Division of the Naval Surface Warfare Center, White Oak Detachment, which developed and tested ballistics, torpedoes, mines, and other explosives. In 1993, the Navy moved its operations and transferred the site to the General Services Administration. The FDA then occupied the campus in 2009. True to its military origins, the main ingress to the FDA, Building 1, resembles a fortress and still has Naval Ordnance Laboratory etched in stone on its frontispiece.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.